Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing on the Astroneer series. Please suggest a name you would like for this world. Today we are going to be going into space. As you can see right now, I am unlocking the space shuttle. I had just forgotten where it was. Now in a minute there's going to be a big cut because my Xbox decided that it did not want to record for about 15 minutes. Thankfully, I did not end up doing that much in the time. I printed the rocket, well, let it finish printing, and then made some thrusters for it. And a small platform for power. As you can see right here, this is all the progress I made that was unrecorded. This platform is going to be designed for power. We have one room for a medium power of some sorts, and then a lot of room for smaller power sources. This is the spaceship and solid fuel thruster I was telling you about. So I just start heading down, finding some laterite. I end up getting a good bit of it. And for the next couple minutes, it's just going to be me preparing to go to a different planet. Typically you want to bring a lot of tethers, so that way you can explore caves or explore the surface, trying to find resources or stuff like that. So first off, I get all the laterite smelting, which is a lot. Then I head on my rover to plug it in, then turn the generator on in a minute, so that way I can generate more power. I start printing an extra thruster, because most of the time you want to have an extra one, just in case you forget to change it out, because these thrusters can only be used like 4 times, so that is 2 trips worth before they basically die, and you need to get another one. So it's always a good idea to have an extra with you, just in case. And now I'm going out to get all the compound for the tethers, and then an extra one for a small generator. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of compound to make a lot of tethers. I throw all the tethers onto the medium storage so I can bring them all with me, because on the rocket ship there is enough space for a medium size something to go there. It's typically used for an oxygenator, but you can also fit one of these medium storages in there. So I normally put an oxygenator on the medium storage and then put the medium storage where the oxygenator is supposed to go, just to give me a little bit more storage for when I get there. As you can see, I have an unbelievable amount of tethers, and then one extra compound in my backpack. This is a way you can store one extra resource. Just put it in your backpack like you're about to craft something, but don't actually craft it. It's a way to be able to store one more resource. And now I'm just going through a checklist on my head, making sure I have everything. And then look around for a minute. And lift off. I head over to Glacio, because that's a planet where you can get iron and titanium from, or hematite and titanite if you're going by the raw material, unsmelted. Now here I'm looking for a landing site that is close to one of the portals, which are those kind of like objects or structures on the surface of the planet. Those are more useful later game once you start getting into the core of the planet, which we are not there yet. I'm trying to find a landing site that's really close to one of them, just because they generally help you out better in the long run. And then also on Glacio, ammonium and graphite are much more common than on Sova. And that little red spike coming out of the ground is hematite, aka iron. You'll see me get some more of that later. And then that black stuff there was the graphite. Now here I start looking to see what resource goes in there. I thought it was astronium. Turns out it's just ammonium, because those two symbols are kind of similar. It's in the upper left corner on the natural resources, or the first page. I had missed it the first time I went through the list. I'm not going to speed it up any while I'm on this planet, just so I can let you guys see what it looks like better. However, for the same reason that there was that big cut, you are also not going to see me return back from Glacio. I think it cuts off somewhere when I'm in the cave, which is where Titanite is. Now, there are resources that you cannot break with your regular tool, and this is hematite. I come back for that later. And I need a drill mod for them, which you'll see that a little bit better in the caves. On Glacio in the caves, it's like a gray material rather than a blue like the rest of the planet. The deeper you get, the harder and harder the materials are to break. And the more and more advanced of a drill tool you need. Now here I'm just getting some organic to power a generator, because this is a box or research chamber thing that requires a certain amount of power to go into it. It's not one that's like a battery that you have to fill up all the way. And I'm hoping that the small generator is enough. Turns out it was not. I think you need about 2 or 3 of them, maybe more, to power it enough to where it'll open. And those will also pop up instantly if you have enough power. Now there are 2 main resources I came here for: titanite and hematite. Hematite's iron, titanite is titanium, as I already told you. I mostly came here for hematite because I thought you needed that for a chemistry lab. Turns out you didn't. But I still end up using it later in the video. And here I'm going into the caves. And this is also where you get to see the sliding animation that I was trying to show you guys in earlier videos. I end up sliding a lot in this video compared to the other ones. This is not the harder material yet, this is just the roof. And right now I'm trying to get this boulder out of the way. So yeah, hematite are those red spikes. Titanite is like a green spike. If you were to compare titanite to something, it's like green graphite. I end up finding some pretty quickly. And then this is where I made it back from Glacio. I end up getting a lot of hematite. I only end up getting 1 titanite. And this is me just waiting for it to finish smelting and just managing stuff. This was what I used the hematite for. It is a small shredder, which is how you get scrap. So this can take small resources and then it turns them into usable scrap, which can be traded for, or you can craft it into that one item in the small printer, which I had previously, before this video, never seen before. I'm pretty sure it's like a limited time event that happens. And then the value of whatever you put in there, depending on how much it costs you to craft it, will determine how much scrap it gives you. Now here I think I end up taking one of these batteries and putting it back on the rover, and the other 2 I leave here to work as batteries. I end up getting the scrap, which looks like that. It can be traded for in the trade platform, which you guys will see in a later video. Now here I'm heading out to get some organic to craft the item. Now this can be traded in a different platform, instead of the trade platform, this can be traded in the, I think it's called the exodynamic platform, no, exo request platform, which can give you some pretty useful stuff if you can supply it with things that it will take. And now here, the reason nothing was running was because it was prioritizing charging the batteries that were in my backpack. And now we wait for this. Now, somewhere around here, I realized that it's not iron that I need for the chemistry lab, but it is tungsten, which is on a different planet, which I will be going to in this episode, but I will not be exploring much in this episode. I'm just going to arrive, show you what it looks like, and that'll probably be where I end the video. So the planet I decided to go to is Calidor, which has tungsten. It is called wolframite, is its raw form, and then smelted it's tungsten. So obviously I have to start preparing to go to a different planet again, get another oxygenator, get some tethers. I have to get some ammonium because I think I was out, and you need one ammonium and then one aluminum in order to craft a solid fuel thruster. Now in the next episode, I plan on getting a better form of storage than what I currently have. So I spent a good long while trying to clear out this patch of ammonium and resin. And then I do my usual, because I don't have a storage system on this world, I just throw it all on the ground and wait until I'm ready to use it. Once I get the resources to where I'm able to build a storage system, I probably will, because they're really useful for just keeping track of how much stuff you have and also not causing an issue with everything being everywhere. I get these two researching so I can research a better form of storage, which I will probably make in the next video. It is this, the medium resource canister, which can store 32 of a specific item. If you watched the first episode of this series and watched all the way until I showed off the second world, then you already know what these are. Now here I get a QRTG and a home base for other planets. The QRTG is a really useful power source as it always generates 1 power per second with no cost. Like the wind turbines, and you have to wait for wind. Solar panels, you have to wait for the sun. And the generators, you have to wait for them to be turned on. And they need to have organic. These will just constantly make 1 power per second. There is an upgraded version of these, but they are very expensive and they are much more late game than right now. And these QRTGs can only be traded for at trade platforms or found naturally. Or you can get them from missions. I'm printing another medium storage so that I can bring a lot of stuff along with me. And then this is a cut because the Xbox decided to not record again. I go out collecting some more compound so I can make some more tethers. I end up finding another small wind turbine. And I think this one stays on the rover. Not the rover, the tractor. And now that I have a healthy amount of ammonium on the floor, I'm starting to get ready to go to Calidor. And here I go. Now you can also tell what, in terms of power, different planets are good for. Like Calidor is really good for solar power, so solar panels work really well here because it is almost constantly day. Glacio is really good for wind. It is almost always windy there. And then Silva is a mix of both. It's medium, which a lot of planets are. And then there's some planets that are low on everything, like Atrox. But that is a planet we are not going to be going to for a while. And we have arrived. Very desert style. And this is where I'm leaving you off. Remember to like, subscribe, comment what you think this world should be called, and goodbye.